Hey, beautiful soul. You're listening to the Rising into Mindful Motherhood podcast, your weekly dose of fertility wisdom. I'm your host, Dr. Katie Wood. I'm a barefoot mama bear, pharmacist, and integrative fertility coach. This is your go-to podcast for all things to naturally nourish your fertility, embody womb healing, and reclaim your feminine power to accelerate your path to pregnancy. My expert guests and I will be having intentional conversations to discuss the many facets of a thriving, fertile foundation, natural wellness, and how we grow and transform as women on our journey to motherhood. So let's dive in, shall we? Hello, and welcome to the Rising into Mindful Motherhood podcast. I am excited to record this episode. I'm actually recording it a little bit earlier than I typically do, but I have this topic that I'm feeling really called to talk about, and it might ruffle some feathers, and I'm okay with that. I think with all of the personal development, inner work that I've done, being in the coaching industry, I have accepted, and you have to accept, that you are not going to be everybody's person, right? I'm not going to be able to please everybody, and that's okay. So we're going to talk about this hot topic. And honestly, I'm curious. I'm curious what other people think about it. So I'm going to be putting a poll. I don't know if it just shows up on Spotify. I'm guessing it might. I'm not really sure how the poll works, but look under kind of in the show notes section and see if there's a poll. I'm going to be posting a poll. I'm not exactly sure what I'm going to put as the question yet because I am recording this a little bit early. But yeah, answer the poll and just be honest. So the other night, I saw someone post they support women, couples trying to get pregnant in the fertility space. What the post said was, instead of they got pregnant naturally, say this: they got pregnant unassisted. And their point was to be mindful of the language we use when discussing fertility and pregnancy. And using the term unassisted instead of naturally can help avoid unintentionally invalidating the experiences of individuals or couples who have used assisted reproductive technologies or interventions to conceive. Inclusive language is what this is being coined. Now, I am all for not making anyone feel bad or feel left out. That is, believe me, the empath in me. But what I'm not okay with is like masking and covering up and taking away the beauty that is conceiving naturally, right? Whether you're religious or not, that is how God made us. And that doesn't make you wrong if you had to use IVF or anything else. My sister had to use IVF. I would not have my nephew without IVF, or at least as far as we know, that's, I wouldn't have him without IVF. But I'm feeling a little, and it's not just this, it's all of this inclusive language that we're using it's just not sitting 100% with me. I conceived naturally, and I will never say that I conceived unassisted because I don't feel that I should have to. I worked really hard. And I'm not saying that people who chose to do IVF didn't work hard, because I see people's journeys on social media and they are the hardest working people. They want it more than anyone. But I worked extremely hard to heal my body, my mind, and my spirit. And I conceived naturally, right? My husband and I did the baby dance and we got pregnant. And that is a beautiful, intimate, miraculous thing in and of itself. And I feel like having to choose words in that light is taking that away, right? I've worked with clients. I've had a woman for 8 years. She wasn't able to conceive. And then finally, after working together, she did, even though doctors told her she wouldn't be able to conceive naturally. And now I'm expected to take that away from her and say she got pregnant unassisted. That just doesn't sit well with me. I don't know. I also feel like, and this is my hope for anyone who decides to move forward with either ovulation inducing medications, IUI or IVF, that was a conscious decision that they made. They made that decision to do that, whether that wasn't their ideal choice, right? There are some couples who have genetic issues or anatomical issues where IVF is legit the only way that they can get pregnant. Otherwise, in my mind, it is a choice. It's a decision. And I think a part of where I'm just not totally buying this inclusive wording is doctors push IVF so quickly, so fast, so irrationally. You're 40, you need IVF. That's your only option. You have PCOS, you need IUI or IVF. Only option. That's it. So the amount of people that are having assisted pregnancies is almost that number is like inflated because it's being pushed on people. And a lot of people aren't aware of their options or educated or even empowered enough to know, like, no, I have other options. I can work on this myself. So that the amount of people that are having to have assisted pregnancies, that number is inflated in my mind. And then another problem I have with it is it's almost all it's like a distraction. And to me, it's like putting your head in the sand because we should be concerned. Fertility rates are declining faster than ever. Sperm quality in men is declining faster than ever. And we're more worried about whether we're saying that someone got pregnant naturally or saying that they got pregnant unassisted. No, we should be pissed and asking questions. Why is this happening? Why are fertility rates declining? Why last April did the World Health Organization just change the infertility rate from 1 in 8 couples to now 1 in 6? Right? These are the things that get me fired up. And these are the reasons why I will never say with a client that, I mean, in a way, they were assisted, right? They're working with a coach. If they're, working with me or a registered dietitian or a functional medicine doctor or whatever it may be, they are being assisted. They're just choosing a different path to help get them what they desire, right? Being pregnant, having a healthy conception. And for me, I'm just kind of like sitting back and I'm looking at the big picture, right? I had a home birth, unmedicated. That was a decision I made. And by the grace of God, I was able to do it at home. I know that that doesn't always turn out the way people want, right? Birth is something that we cannot control, just like fertility is. But are we gonna eventually have to say, I gave birth unassisted versus I gave birth naturally? I'm not saying that C-sections are wrong. I'm not saying any of that. C-sections can be life-saving for both mom and baby. But again, I hope that that mom was able to make a conscious decision. I mean, obviously there's the circumstances of emergency C-sections and things like that, but in an ideal world, I hope that that mom felt informed and empowered and made that conscious decision, with her partner, if there is one. But we're stealing, covering, and hiding the beauty that is being a woman, right? We can't even call menstrual products like feminine products anymore. That's been taken away. Now they got pregnant unassisted, not naturally. Chest feeding versus, let's call it what it is, it's breastfeeding. Yeah. And again, I support whatever decision people want to do for themselves. But when things start being slowly pulled away, unraveled, what is even going to be left of what conceiving, carrying, birthing, and feeding a baby from its natural state? So I'm very curious on your thoughts. I'm not here to offend anybody. These are just my thoughts that I'm sharing on this sensitive topic, putting myself out there. And it can be a little scary, but I'm going to stand in my power. And like I said in the beginning, I cannot be for everyone. And this podcast is not going to be for everyone. And that's okay. It's fine. But whoever's listening, my hope for you is that whatever decision you make for yourself is informed, empowered, and conscious. And that since you made that decision in that light, that you don't feel that anyone else has to take away from their decisions and their experience. Thank you for listening and being open for this conversation. And I look forward to seeing you on the next episode. Thank you so much for tuning in to the Rising into Mindful Motherhood podcast. If this episode resonated with you or gave you an aha moment, stop what you're doing right now and write a review. This simple act of kindness helps me get this podcast out to connect with as many women as I possibly can. I also have a special offer. If you send me a screenshot of your review, I will take $250 off one of my premium coaching containers. Let me know what resonated with you the most and why. So connect with me in my free Facebook community or tag me on Instagram. You'll find both listed below. Thanks again from the bottom of my heart for tuning in to this episode, and I'll see you next time.